One approach that people can take when they get called out for lying or for having the facts wrong is to say, you know what? You're right. I misspoke. I was misinformed. I have the wrong information. A different approach that people can take when they get called out for either lying or having the facts wrong is to just steamroll and to go, I don't care what you said. I don't really care what you claim the facts to be. I'm right and I'm sticking with it. And that is exactly what happened to Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin. He was on CNN. And part of the play that Republicans are pushing is to try to associate either Obama or Biden with Epstein related stuff. And one of the latest ones is arguing that Epstein got this sweetheart deal from a prosecutor under Obama. The dates don't line up for that. That non-prosecution agreement was made in 2008 when Bush was president. And importantly, Alex Acosta, the U.S. attorney who made the deal, ultimately went and worked under Donald Trump. Markwayne Mullin is confronted with this reality. He doesn't care what the facts are.
And that's why Attorney General Bondi was saying for months. Well, then tell me why for months she was saying that she's going to release the information tomorrow.
We made the assumption that the judges would release the order and allow the evidence that they had, that it could be heard. But it's all been sealed. And so if it's been a sealed case, we can't release it until the judges allow us to release it. And you would think common sense would play. That's why they asked for transparency. We want transparency. We want the judges to have transparency in this too. But remember, there was a plea deal that was struck in 2009, way before I was in office, way before Trump was even considering to be in office, way before Pam Bondi was in office, way before Kash Patel was director. 2009, there was a sweetheart plea deal that was made underneath the Obama administration with Epstein.
That's not
and that sweetheart has not been exposed.
No, it was 2000.
Oh, it's not? Well, when was the case heard?
It was 2008. It was the U.S. attorney at the time was a guy named Alex Acosta. He was a Bush appointee. He went on to become President Trump's Secretary of Labor. It all took place.
That is all absolutely correct.
In 2008.
Who was in office at the time?
2008, George W. Bush.
Who was in office at the time?
George W. Bush.
No, 2009 is when the case came out, and it was and Obama was in office at the time.
It's not true.
And you would think that Markwayne Mullin might go, oh, you know what? Maybe I do have the facts wrong on this. Maybe I have the timing wrong, because indeed Epstein's plea deal was in June 2008. Bush was president. It was overseen by U.S. Attorney Acosta, who later went to work for Trump. Obama didn't start till January 2009. But Markwayne Mullin just doubles down. He doesn't want to accept the truth.
Even weigh in on that.
And by the way, notice how here Mullin shifts to when the documents were sealed, which I'm going to come back to, but this is what's called moving the goalposts.
I'll go back to what you're saying about it wasn't true. The case was sealed in 2009. That's absolutely true. It was heard in 2008. It was sealed in 2009.
The point is that the sweetheart deal, which was completed in 2008, was under the Bush administration, U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta. That's why Alex Acosta resigned in the first Bush administration, because the Miami Herald had written this story in 2018 about how Epstein got away with so much. And then in 2019, the U.S. Attorney under President Trump, Jeff Berman in the Southern District of New York, then brought charges against him. So, I mean, there is stuff to say that you could point to that say, like, President Trump did this or President Trump did that.
And remember, in 2019, President Trump and his administration called for it to be unsealed at that time, too. It went silent, and not a word was said during the Biden administration. Not a word. Nothing was said during the Biden administration.
People can look it up. The sweetheart deal was 2008 during the George W. Bush administration. But I always appreciate...
So notice how Markwayne Mullin shifts in this second clip. He thinks, okay, maybe Jake Tapper is right about the timing of that. Let me just focus on when the documents were sealed. And of course, when the documents were sealed has nothing to do with, number one, who made the deal. Number two, who was president when the deal was made. And number three, which president did Alex Acosta ultimately go and work for? And it was Donald Trump. If you are conspiratorial, if you want to find meaning in all of these different shiftings of loyalties, the natural conspiracy would be Trump rewarded Acosta for doing that deal, because by doing the non-prosecution of Epstein, it prevented Trump's name from coming out as having been associated with him. That's if you want to create some kind of meaning in all of this. And Markwayne Mullin just doesn't even accept the facts. This is the problem that I write about in my book, by the way, when we aren't even arguing as to the meaning of the facts because we've not even gotten them to acknowledge what the facts are.